My life felt like a movie, perfectly scripted, until one phone call shattered the entire illusion. My wife told me she was going on a business trip, a week-long conference for work. I kissed her goodbye at the airport, wished her luck, and went back to our quiet, empty home, never suspecting a thing. I trusted her completely. But just hours later, a call from my brother, who manages a luxury hotel in Hawaii, ripped my world apart. He told me my wife had just checked in, not for business, but with someone else using our shared credit card. In that single moment, the woman I thought I knew vanished, replaced by a stranger. The business trip was a lie. Our marriage was a lie. And the life I had built was crumbling around me. But instead of rage, a cold, calculated calm washed over me. She thought she was clever, but she had no idea who she was dealing with. I spent that first night staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. My brother was my rock. He kept his voice low and steady over the phone, feeding me details. She had booked the most expensive suite, the one with the ocean view and private balcony. They ordered champagne and the finest food, all on my dime. Every charge felt like a personal insult, a twist of the knife. He asked me what I wanted to do. Should he confront her? Kick them out? Part of me wanted the instant, messy satisfaction of a dramatic scene. But another part, a colder, more strategic part, took over. No, I told him. Let her enjoy her little fantasy. Let her believe she's getting away with it. The bigger the dream, the harder the fall. This wasn't going to be a shouting match in a hotel lobby. This was going to be a quiet, systematic dismantling of the life she thought she had secured. While she was sipping champagne by the pool, I was going to be pulling the rug out from under her, thread by thread. The first person I called the next morning was my lawyer. I explained everything, leaving no detail out. The business trip, the call from my brother, the extravagant charges on our shared card. My lawyer, a sharp and no-nonsense woman, listened patiently. When I was done, she didn't offer condolences. She offered a plan. We need to move fast and we need to move silently, she said. While she's distracted, we lock everything down. The betrayal burned, but her words gave me a sense of purpose, a mission. This was no longer just about a broken heart. It was about protecting my future, my assets, and my dignity. We mapped out every step. First, the finances. Then the house. And most importantly, preparing for the inevitable fallout. My wife had started a war, but she had no idea I was already 2 steps ahead, building my fortress while she was sunbathing on the battlefield. Just as my wife was probably ordering her second mimosa of the day, I was sitting in my bank manager's office. He was an old friend, and the look on his face as I explained the situation was a mixture of shock and sympathy. We went through every joint account we had. The savings, the checking, the investments we had built together over the years. With a few clicks of a mouse and my signature on a few documents, I systematically froze every single one of them. I opened new accounts in my name only and transferred my personal inheritance and every cent I had earned before our marriage. The joint funds, our shared lifeblood, were now inaccessible to her. My brother called again, updating me. She had just booked a couple's massage and a private boat tour for the next day, all on the card. Keep the charges coming, I told him, a grim satisfaction in my voice. Let her dig the hole a little deeper. Every swipe of that card was just another piece of evidence, another nail in the coffin of her deceit. Now with the money secure, my focus shifted to our home. The house we had bought together. The place I thought we would grow old in. It was filled with memories, both real and, as I now knew, fake. Walking through the rooms was gut-wrenching. I saw the spot where I proposed. The kitchen where we danced while cooking dinner, the garden we planted together. It was all tainted. My lawyer had advised me on the legalities. Since the house was purchased with a significant portion of my premarital inheritance, my claim to it was strong. I gathered the documents, the bank statements, the deed, everything I needed to prove it. While my wife was living in a 5-star hotel suite, I was preparing to make sure she wouldn't have a home to come back to. The irony was bitter. She had left our home for a temporary paradise, and in doing so, she was about to lose it forever. The next couple of days were a blur of phone calls and paperwork. I spoke with my lawyer daily, sometimes hourly. We prepared the divorce papers, citing infidelity with a mountain of evidence provided by my ever-watchful brother. He sent me copies of hotel receipts, restaurant bills, and even the booking confirmation for the boat tour. All of it, paid for with my money, under the guise of a business trip. The sheer audacity of it was staggering. It was almost impressive in its own twisted way. I felt like I was directing a play where only I knew the final act. My wife was the star, blissfully unaware that the stage was set for her downfall. I coordinated with my brother for the final move. He knew the exact moment she would be checking out. That was when the curtain would fall. That was when her fantasy world would come crashing down. If you enjoy emotional and dramatic revenge stories, please subscribe for more. The morning of her checkout arrived. My brother called me early. "She's at the front desk now," he whispered. "She's trying to pay for the final bill." I could hear the faint murmur of voices in the background. My heart pounded in my chest. This was it. "Her card was just declined," he said. I could almost picture the scene. Her confident smile faltering, a flicker of confusion in her eyes. "She's trying another one," my brother continued. "Declined again." The panic would be setting in now. The front desk clerk, following my brother's script, would be looking at her with polite but firm denial. Her face would be turning from confused to embarrassed, and then to outright panic. The man she was with would be standing there awkwardly, his own wallet suddenly feeling very light. The perfect vacation was ending in a nightmare of public humiliation. Then my phone rang. It was her. Her voice was frantic, a stark contrast to the calm, professional tone she had used when she told me about her conference. "Something's wrong with the cards," she said, her voice tight with anxiety. "None of them are working. Can you check from your end?" I took a deep breath, letting the silence hang in the air for a moment. "There's nothing wrong with the cards, Sarah," I said, my voice eerily calm. "I canceled them." Another beat of silence, but this one was filled with her dawning horror. "What? Why would you do that? I'm stuck here." "I need to pay the hotel bill," she stammered. "Oh, I think your colleague can handle that," I replied, the word colleague dripping with ice. "By the way, how's the weather in Hawaii?" The line went dead. I knew in that moment that she understood. Everything. The game was over. My brother called me back a few minutes later. He said she and her companion had a hushed, frantic argument in the lobby before her lover reluctantly paid the massive bill with his own card. The look on his face, my brother said, was priceless. He then told me she was trying to book a flight home, but her own credit cards were maxed out and her debit card was linked to the joint account I had frozen. She was stranded, broke, and exposed, a world away from the home she thought was waiting for her. My lawyer had already filed the divorce papers. An email with all the details, including the evidence of her trip, was already sitting in her inbox. When she finally managed to get a flight back, it wouldn't be me picking her up from the airport, it would be a process server. When she eventually returned, she came to the house, but the locks were changed. She called me, screaming, crying, begging. But it was too late. I had already moved on. I had my finances, I had the house, and I had my self-respect back. The months that followed were legally messy, but the outcome was never in doubt. Her affair, so extravagantly funded by our joint account, made the divorce settlement incredibly one-sided. She left the marriage with nothing but the consequences of her choices. Looking back, the betrayal still stings, but it doesn't define me. It was a painful, expensive lesson in trust, but it led me to a stronger, more honest life. Sometimes, the most devastating storms clear the path for a brighter sunrise. And my sun was finally rising again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit-style revenge stories.